following the truth. The air was thick with tension. Across the table, two people sat, both with determined expressions. A single piece of paper lay between them, the ink still wet from a recent signature. "The evidence is clear," said one, a young journalist with fiery determination in her eyes. "It points to a significant cover-up." The other, an older gentleman with graying hair, sighed. "It's not about the evidence," he countered. "It's about the consequences of revealing it." She leaned forward, her voice barely above a whisper. "We owe it to the public. It's our duty to inform them." The cafe around them buzzed with activity, but their world was reduced to this single conversation. The stakes were high, and both knew it. Growing up, the journalist had always been taught to seek the truth. In college, she had excelled in investigative reporting, always digging deeper, never taking things at face value. This drive had earned her respect in the field, but also brought her face to face with challenges. Challenges like the one she was facing now. The document on the table was a result of months of research. It contained information that would shake the very foundations of certain powerful entities. Revealing it would be the biggest story of her career. But it would also be the most dangerous. The older man, her mentor and editor, had seen it all. He had been in the industry long enough to understand the complexities of their situation. Sometimes, he began, choosing his words carefully, the line between right and wrong is blurred. "What you have here is explosive, but releasing it could have unforeseen consequences." She took a deep breath. "I understand the risks. But if we don't bring this to light, who will? Isn't that our responsibility as journalists?" He nodded, understanding her sentiment. "It is. But it would be best if you were prepared for the backlash. It won't be easy." They sat in silence, each lost in their thoughts. Outside, the city moved in its usual rhythm, unaware of the storm that might be unleashed. After what felt like hours, the journalist made up her mind. "I need to do this," she said firmly. "It's bigger than just me or my career. It's about the truth." The older man looked at her, admiration evident in his eyes. "Then we'll do it together. I've got your back." With renewed energy, they began planning their next steps. They knew that the path ahead was fraught with challenges. But they also knew that they were on the side of truth, which gave them the strength to move forward. Days turned into weeks, and the story began to take shape. With every new piece of information, their resolve strengthened. They faced threats, intimidation, and attempts to discredit them. But they persevered. Finally, the day came when the story was published. The reactions were immediate and intense. Some praised their bravery, while others criticized their actions. But amidst the noise, there was a clear sense of vindication. The truth, once hidden, was now out in the open. It sparked discussions, debates, and even brought about change. As the dust settled, the two journalists sat in the same cafe, reflecting on their journey. They had followed the truth, and in doing so, had made a difference. The path had been challenging, but the destination was worth it. And as they looked out at the city, they knew their work was far from over. The truth, after all, never rests. A new smoothie. Sunlight poured into the small kitchen, illuminating a vibrant array of fruits on the counter. A blender stood at the ready, eager for its next task. The air was filled with the rich scent of ripe berries and the faintest hint of mint. A pair of hands reached for a banana, peeling it with practiced ease. Next came a handful of plump strawberries, followed by some vibrant blueberries. The fruits were tossed into the blender, their colors mixing into a beautiful mosaic. But this wasn't just any smoothie concoction. It was a quest for the perfect blend, a combination that had eluded its creator for months. Different ingredients were experimented with every morning for that elusive ideal taste. A dash of almond milk, a sprinkle of chia seeds, and a hint of honey were added to the mix. The blender whirred to life, mixing and mashing the ingredients into a thick, velvety liquid. Pouring the smoothie into a tall glass, there was a moment of anticipation. Would this be the blend that hit all the right notes? The first sip was crucial. The taste was unexpected. The rich creaminess of the banana, the sweetness of the berries, the subtle nuttiness from the almond milk all complemented each other beautifully. But something was missing, an element that would elevate the drink from great to extraordinary. Perusing the kitchen shelves, a small bottle caught the eye. Vanilla extract. It was a gamble, but wasn't that what this journey was all about? A few drops were cautiously added to the mix, and the blender roared again. The revised concoction was poured into a fresh glass, its deep purple hue promising a world of flavors. Another sip, and this time, the reaction was instantaneous. It was perfect. The vanilla added a depth of flavor, a certain richness that tied everything together. The quest for the perfect smoothie, which had begun as a simple morning routine, had turned into an adventure of flavors and combinations. And today, it felt like the summit had been reached. Over the next few days, the new smoothie became a staple. Having heard tales of the extraordinary blend, friends and neighbors dropped by for a taste. Each sip was met with nods of approval, broad smiles, and requests for the recipe. But the true joy wasn't in the praise or the accolades. It was in the process, the experimentation, and the thrill of discovery. It was in the quiet moments of the morning, with the sun streaming in, when a simple drink became a reminder of the endless possibilities that lay in trying something new. And so, while the quest for the perfect smoothie might have reached its end, the adventures in the kitchen were far from over. There were more flavors to explore, more combinations, and more mornings to look forward to. It might have been just a drink in the grand scheme of things. But in those moments, in that small kitchen, it was a celebration of creativity, perseverance, and the joy of finding perfection in the unexpected. A long and funny fairy tale. In a kingdom where unicorns played hopscotch and dragons loved baking, the most curious thing wasn't the sky raining marshmallows, but the fact that everyone, from the smallest ant to the tallest giraffe, had forgotten how to laugh. One would think in such a whimsical land, giggles would be as common as daisies. But alas, a grumpy old warlock, tired of the kingdom's relentless cheerfulness, had cast a no-chuckle spell. The spell ensured that no creature could produce even the tiniest of chuckles. Life continued, of course. Dragons still baked cupcakes, and the unicorns tried their best to play hopscotch without tripping over their own hooves. But the joy, the bubbling laughter that once echoed through the valleys, was missing. In the heart of the kingdom lived a squirrel named Sam. Now, Sam was no ordinary squirrel. He had a bushy tail that changed colors according to his moods and a peculiar obsession with polka-dotted socks. But more importantly, Sam was determined to bring laughter back to the kingdom. Sam's plan was simple. He would organize a grand event and invite everyone. The highlight? A performance that was so funny, so utterly hilarious, that it would break the spell and restore laughter. Word spread, and on the day of the event, the venue was packed. Creatures from all corners of the kingdom had arrived, their faces a mix of hope and skepticism. Sam took a deep breath. It was now or never. The curtains rose, revealing a stage filled with props. Out popped a chicken, wearing the fanciest pair of trousers one had ever seen. Following the chicken was a duck, dressed in a tutu, attempting ballet. But the piece de resistance was a frog, reciting tongue twisters while hopping on a pogo stick. It was ridiculous. It was absurd. The audience stared, their expressions blank. Just when Sam started to lose hope, a sound echoed through the hall. A snicker. Then another. Soon, the entire hall was filled with giggles, chuckles, and belly laughs. The no-chuckle spell was broken. Laughter flowed like a river, washing over the kingdom and filling every nook and cranny. The old grumpy warlock, hearing the commotion, peeked out from his lair. To everyone's surprise, he too started laughing, realizing the silliness of his own spell. The kingdom was once again its bubbly self. Dragons went back to baking, but with an added spring in their step. The unicorns played hopscotch, their laughter making their games even more delightful. Sam, the hero of the hour, was carried around in a parade, the crowd cheering his name. But amidst the celebration, he had only one concern: finding matching polka-dotted socks for his next adventure. And so, in a kingdom where the unexpected was the norm, life went on. There were challenges, of course. Like the time when clouds decided they preferred raining spaghetti. Or when the trees declared they'd only grow upside down. But no matter what, the laughter never stopped. Because in a world full of magic and mayhem, the simple joy of a shared giggle held everything together. And as long as there were squirrels with colorful tails and a penchant for socks, the kingdom knew it would always find a reason to smile.